next group is Irene from Fuquay Elementary School and Jeanette from Jianxing Elementary School, right? Okay. And their cloud partner, Anna.
Hello everyone. I'm Irene Chen from Fuquay Elementary School, and our school is located at the南投County. And here's our topic, magic of language, and that has a deeper insight into culture and life. And that's the outline. The first topic I want to share is teaching strategy, and I use past and transform an object activity to help me as a strategy in help students learning the vocabularies and alphabets. And there are so many kinds of activities like this, so I try to transfer this kind of strategy into some different activities. And I was considering about which kind of activity can suitable for my students, and how can I fit in the topic that I'm going to teach. So here's 4 kinds of activities I'm trying to transform. And during the process, I found children really like to act. Whenever they are going to act, I say, oh, you are going to act something out, and that others guess what are you going to show. And they will feel really excited and really have fun in class. And the first one is saying hello to everyone. And that's the activity I learned in WW, and I think it's really a good activity when we having the first class and getting to know each other. Let me show you a video. This is the first class lesson that Anna and these 3rd grader students. And I think students really like to do those movements and make them really cute and adorable, and Anna will follow them. So I think it's really a good ice-breaking activities in the first class. And the second one is trust and transform an object. And we learn vocabularies after we know the meaning, and we try to act out and let others to know, oh, what are you act out? But as for the 2nd grader, I use it as learning alphabetical letters. They have to write the letters, the shape of letters, and others have to guess what letters they are writing. So I think it's also a good way to transform as for those 1st and 2nd graders. And we do a lot 10-second objects practice in cloud lesson, because I asking students to act out, and the students sitting downstairs, they have to count 1 to 10, and they can practice many times, so they can know how to count 1 to 10 spontaneously. So when those students are trying to act out a 10-second object, those students here, they have to count 1 to 10 for so many times. And the next activities is slow motion emotion. Whenever they did this, they really looks funny, and everyone is very interested in this activity.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
I told them they have to do the activities within 5 seconds. They cannot stop, and they have to do really in a small motion. And I know the answers are so easy to the students, but they still enjoy doing that. And they can practice the meaning of the vocabulary from time to time. So I think it's really a good way to do so. And because I found that there's low motivation within my students, and because I think students all like to sing a song and sing and dance. And when we learn about a family member, we sing Baby Shark, and they really like to do Baby Shark dance in 2 times speed. They have to do really in a fast speed, and they really enjoy it. And there is a topic that is food, and I asked our students to recommend the food that they think is really good in Taiwan to Anna, and that's the top 3. And I learned in WW, teacher Rory said that they can just write Chinese and draw the picture, and as for me, I was try to write the English for them, and they can practice. So they will think English is more easier. They don't have to come out by themselves. And because I think English sometimes is really difficult to students, they think the English is too hard for them, say. So sometimes when they get to 5th or 6th grader, they just quit. So I think it's really important to make English learning easier for students. So I use main hierarchy questions such as true or false, or yes or no question. Students just have to answer yes or no. Or I have choices. Is this pencil or this one is pencil? And they just to know this one, and that's also a right answer. So they will feel a sense of achievement. And Fly Splatter game is always a good game in class. They compete with each other and try to figure out what is the vocabulary. I think it's really a good game. And because I think English has to be connected with the authentic life. So the topic we designed for the class lessons are all connected to the authentic life. First topic is daily life and house and family, food, and shopping and festivals. And I use so many kinds of visual aids to teach, because I think if we want to use more English when teaching English class, visual aids plays a really important role. And flashcards, and I will try to do some movement, and also students, and show in my facial expressions, try to explain the meaning, and some pictures. And I think the most active visual aids is realia. When we learn what time is it, and I borrow the clock from the first grade teacher, and when when the video shows what time is it, they have to try to use the clock to indicate the right time. And let me show the clock lesson I like most to you. This topic is about buying things in supermarket, and I bought chips, chocolate, and I borrowed a box travel pillow from my mom and used the price tag to stick on it. And there is also a toy, and Anna is placed. We did a role play, and Anna as the salesperson, and I'm the cashier. And when the students saw the toy, they get really excited, and I try to make them feel like they're really trying to buy something. So I put all those stuffs in a shelf and put the sign here. This is A and B and C, and they have to ask Anna where is the cheese, and Anna have to answer that, oh, it's in aisle A, and they are going to get the things in that place. And I think that's really a good way for them to practice in daily life. And because the students who have cloud lessons are third graders, and their English ability is not so good for them to have whole English lesson. And as for the situation, I think it's kind of experiment for me and both students to do this kind of try. And I think it try out in a good result, because I think students really have fun in learning English and have cloud lessons. And because Anna is learning Chinese, and I asked students to make up a Chinese name for Anna, and I think it's really a good way to exchange culture, because name is the most essential way to exchange. And I think because maybe I think Anna is Anna, and one of students, he named at his last name Du Na Na, and I think it's really interesting. And when Anna comes to our school, we go to night market for fruit hunting, and there is an interesting video.
Anna, do you want sweet potato ball? Yes. OK， 那你帮他跟老板点，你跟他点一份。
The shop owner says, 讲英文啊, it means you have to speak English to me. And I think that's really interesting. I think it's really a good experience for students. And I think cloud lessons make students have smiling face when they are in English classes, and me too, because I found if the students feel happy, I will be also happy. And both me and my students step into a new world, and they know there is another place in the world is Washington, and Anna lives there. So I think I have a lot good experience within this cloud project. And thank you.
Good morning. It's not good morning, it's lunchtime, sorry. Okay, hello everyone, I'm Janet. I'm from Jianxin Primary School is located in Fangliao, Pingtung. And Fangliao is between Pingtung City and Canton. So I think some of the WMU students, you are going to visit Canton or have been there. Hope you like it. And there are 408 students among 19 classes in Jianxin Elementary School. And, oh, sorry, I got to go to the next one. Yeah, and the target students of our top lessons are 6th graders. There are 3 boys and 11 girls in this class. And first, I would like to introduce a technical app, Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is very easy, it's very simple for you and your students to log in. So first, you just create a new topic and give your students, you can ask a question or give your student a task. And then they can record it and respond it and then post it. And what I like is that students, they can prepare, they can practice their answer. They can prepare it earlier. They don't have to record it immediately. They can write down their sentences and then they can. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. And also they can. After they practice for several times to make it fluent, then they can start to record it whenever they feel more comfortable. And the task I've given to my students are self-introduction, and next is the introducing one room in your house, and introducing one kind of Taiwanese food to Anna. Students, they eat food and they stay in their house every day, but maybe they use only English in the classroom. So I want them to apply their English to their daily life. So here you can see this girl is very shy. She's always quiet in the classroom, and now this time she tries to introduce how to make bubble milk tea to Anna. So let's take a look at the video first. It's a long video, so I just cut it up. So you can find that though her English is not so perfect, but at least she tried. And her family gave her a lot of support. They have done this video together. And they empty for many times. Yet her mother told me that they're all full with the bubble milk tea. They drink a lot. Yeah. And next, I would like to talk about my teacher inquiry project. As I think all of us are facing a bimodal distribution of English learning achievement. And in Pingtung County, we just have 18 minutes a week for them to study English. And another reason is that most of my low achievers, they come from disadvantaged backgrounds. They don't regard English as an important or useful tool. They don't think in their future they are not going to use English. There's no connection between English and their daily life. So In other words, the lack of motivation to learn English is the main problem. So in this semester, I tried to change my teaching. First, I use English to teach English and focus more on fluency. I used to focus more on accuracy, and they were afraid to make mistakes. But right now, I encourage them to speak it out. Even you make mistake, that's fine. Or even you give me just one word, yes or no, that's fine. At least you speak. And second, I use more examples from their daily life, connect their learning to real life. For example, how do you go to Gangneung station from your house? That's happened maybe very often. And what does your father do in his free time? And also, what do you do in the living room? Such kind of questions that related to their life. And next, I use technical apps in the classroom, such as Flipgrid, Puzzle, and Kahoot. I think later on somebody is going to introduce that. And I use more games and activities. And last, I try not to be too strict. Yeah, just as like what I said, I asked a lot for the accuracy in the past, but right now, no, they are free to speak. They are free to answer my question. And this is how I collect my data. So after the past 4 months, I found and observed that the motivation of learning English is higher. Some students, they expect a lot to the code lessons. And our code lessons usually is on Thursday morning. So every Thursday, some of them will ask, do we have code lessons today? Yeah. And you can see this is here's the survey I did. They say they want more code lessons. And they like to have code lessons with Anna. And that they like the way it's helpful to their English listening and speaking. And next, the performance. Some low achievers now, they are willing to answer questions, and few of them even become active speakers in the class. But the active speakers kind of they like to answer the question, because if they can answer the question, they can get more points. The others will get 1, but those low achievers, they will get 2 points. Then they would like to answer it. And in order to introduce their rooms or Taiwanese food, they Googled the information. And this is how they solved the problem. And after Anna introduced American food, one student just told me that, I want to go to America. The food is so yummy. Yeah, in fact, those food, we can see those food in Taiwan. But they just say, I want to go to America. The food, they can find it here, but I don't know why they just want to go to America. And here are some of the survey. They say they want to learn more about the festival in America, the cities, and what supports or buildings. So maybe next time, if we want to design the code lessons, maybe before we go to America, we can have a little bit survey about that. Then we can design different subjects according to students' want. Yeah. And next. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the code lessons we have. So far, we have 4 topics. The first one is daily life, and the second one is the houses and food. And we just finished our 4th topic, supermarket. So I'm going to talk about the first 3 we have done. Anna has a younger sister. She is in the 5th grade. So she helped us to make a video to tell us the daily life of a 5th grader in America. And then we can compare what we have in Taiwan. And from this lesson, those students, they learn that American elementary students, they don't have nap time. They don't need to take a nap. That's what they want that. They don't want that nap time. So they say, wow, so good. And then some Americans, they don't take a bath or shower every day because of the weather. The weather is not so humid, it's dry. So some of them, they don't take baths every day. That's what they learn. And in our houses lesson, they learn that, but in America, they got family room and living room. That's what we don't have. We don't have family room in Taiwan. And also the students introduced the workshop hall, 生明厅, to Anna. Wow, that's quite new to her. Yeah. Through the language, they exchange the cultural differences. And in our Taiwanese food, in this food, they learn this. In fact, American food is quite common in Taiwan, and so they learn how to describe the food. We use sentence patterning and such as brown pancakes taste sweet, and they like the game headbands. And this one headbands. They have to give him a clue to students, and the student has to guess what it is. And they use Flipgrid to record some videos. The students introduce some Taiwanese food to Anna, such as white fungus sweet soup, 银耳莲子汤, bubble milk tea, sweet, sticky tofu, kind of that. So I think it's really good for the students to learn the world through the language. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, hello, I am Anna Smith and I am a student at Western, and this is my PowerPoint. So when I first signed up, I still remember the day when I found out I was actually going to be a part of this program, and I was so excited and I didn't believe it, because I found out that Taiwan for me is the nation of firsts. It's the first time I've gone abroad. The first time I'll be teaching children, and it's also the first and maybe the last time I'll be eating stinky tofu. And one thing is I did not expect to make so many memories, from the very first cloud lesson all the way to here. So one thing is from introducing ourselves and our culture through screen. And I found that was really difficult to do, because there's such a short time and it was so hard to see the students, but by having such wonderful teaching partners, we were able to minimize any difficulties. So to learning and interacting in person. So this was at Janet's school, and we ran around to how many classrooms? 13 classrooms, and did this activity where the students got to toss rings onto a pair of antlers I was wearing as a Christmas party. And one thing I did as kind of a survey at the end here was I prepared some gifts for my students, and I put a requirement. They had to either ask me a question or tell me their favorite activity. And you can kind of see here, I wrote down the sentence, my favorite activity with you was. And by doing that, I got to hear from the students what they like to do. And this was the night market trip that I did with the students, and it was a lot of fun. They got to tell me about the different foods, and I remember one time I was learning about a food, and one of the students told me what it was, and I think Janet asked me, "Do you want to try it?" And I looked at the student and I went, "Do you like it?" She went, "No," and I went, "Nope, I don't want to try it." And I tried so many new things. For example, this chicken. You might recognize this restaurant. I was asked if I wanted to take apart the chicken, and I said, "Sure." I didn't know there was going to be feet and a head. I dealt with the feet and went, "Okay, go past that." Turned the chicken around, saw the head, and went, "Nope, I'm done, I'm out, can't do that." So I also got to try calligraphy, and you guys saw my Chinese name, Tong Mei Hua. He wrote it down for me, and I was very thankful. And this was at the night market. Tried scooping the fish. I was really bad at it. First try, paper broke. A little bit of pressure, had all the students around watching me. So I just want to say thank you to NTNU. I want to say thank you to Janet and Irene. And thank you to everyone else in the project.